Alright, this is the stock Coleman CT200U Extreme. It's completely stock right now. I already took the muffler off. I'm about to pull this engine off and rebuild it. Well, not rebuild it, upgrade it. Eventually this bike will look different too. I'm going to do the engine first, then I'm going to paint it. Not sure if I'm going to paint it yet. Just not this ugly mossy oak camo. You know, black and green or black and blue, orange, black, I don't know. But first is getting this engine, getting the governor off. Got some goodies over here. This is the exhaust. This is the Mikuni carburetor with throttle cable and air filter. And here I got a, well, I'll just show these as I go along, but basically there's valve springs in there, a billet connecting rod, aluminum flywheel, bigger cam, and some other stuff. Go over each one. So next time you see this, it should be on the workbench. Okay, the motor's out. It's on the workbench. And now, okay. Alright, so now, got the gas tank off, the flywheel cover off, and this linkage off. Of course, this is a mess. I'll be so glad when I go to the Mikuni. Air filter off. So that's where we're at right now. And about to go ahead and take this carburetor off. Vice grips, get those out.
Animals coming outside.
Hey Eddie.
Hey Papa.
Hey, what's up?
You wanna play with bubble wrap?
Bubble wrap? No.
Hey Mommy. Can I go to a public?
Alright, got that off.
Adeline, you're only staying out here for 10 minutes because it's almost 8 and you.
Alright, just got the flywheel off. Carb's off now. Just taking these brackets off. Those ain't gonna come off yet. Let's take this valve cover off. Because we do got new valve springs. These are not a lot of torque. Easy, because I'm hoping to reuse the gasket. Yeah. Yep, and there they are. So now we gotta crank this thing. Pretty sure. What are you doing with the cameraman?
I don't know.
Alright, wait, where's the flashlight? Okay, hold on.
Do I look like a man?
I don't see the piston. Alright, so now,
We're gonna blind people with that light.
I know. I'm gonna take these off. Okay, now we're doing the valve springs. Here's the factory ones. Here's what I'm replacing them with. Look how squishy. I can't even push these down hardly. So, now I will install these. Yeah, they're a lot tougher. think I got a special tool for this somewhere. This drawer, yes. Hopefully it's not too big. Oh man, it is. Oh man. I think I might got it. I'm gonna have to put gloves on for this. You're like the worst camera person ever.
Oh my god.
Got the exhaust on. Come up right here. See the exhaust. Now I'm gonna do the intake. Little trick. I mean, these are 22 pound valve springs. I'm going, I mean, more than double the original. I think the original was either 10 or 8. There, that went on really easy. Yeah, this was that valve spring was much easier on the intake side. The exhaust side was hard, but there it is. So now that's done, we're moving on to inside the motor. So we'll bring you back once we're inside there. Alright, now we're in the motor. Got the old cam out. I'm not going to put the new cam in yet. Still got to get the connecting rod off, the governor out, the crank out. We got to get it all out. So come around here. See, we've still got a little bit of oil left in there, but that's the governor back there, that gear back there, and this shaft. All that's coming out. There'll be no more governor on this to slow this thing down. It's going to rev as fast and as possible as it can, and we'll be back in a little bit. Alright, so that governor, that's it right there. Good thing I took the governor apart, or I did this when I did, because there was a washer hanging loose there, and this piece right there, oh thanks Ava, and I think it's recording, there it goes, sorry about that, and that piece right there was out, and then that washer was just hanging right there, so it was about to come loose and probably destroy this engine. See, governors are bad, but I'm going to take that out, and after I get that out, I got to tap it and put a 1/4-20 bolt in there, and the same thing with here on top. I've already took that part out. I got to tap that, do a 1/4-20, and then I still got to replace this connecting rod, and then it'd be all ready to go back together. Alright, the governor's completely out. I've tapped that hole, put red Loctite on it, this one as well. See that bolt, that right there. Let's see, that bolt sticking out is perfectly fine because it's still in the recess there, and if you look how far that stuck out before it made contact with the crankshaft, and that's nowhere near that height. That's still recessed down, barely coming up that first level there. So looks like it's sticking out a lot. It's actually not. So it's down in there, tightened down with some Loctite. And let me flip it over to show you. So it's right there. Focus. There we go. So now to finish getting this piston put back in and putting it all back together from here. Should be all downhill. Alright, as you can see, the governor's out, of course. The billet connecting rod is installed, torqued down to 170 inch-pounds of torque. I got the new cam. Here's the original cam. As you can already tell, look how skinny that is at the top, and look how wide that is at that top. So this will give it longer duration. The lift is exactly the same. This is just a longer duration. so it's not opening the valve springs any further, just leaving them open longer. So I mean, that's a very sharp peak there, and as compared to this one, that's a very gradual drop off. And also, it's not a plastic gear, it's metal. So I'm gonna line these up here. Pretty sure it's dot to dot. There's a dot on this one, and a dot on that crankshaft. So I don't think I can do it with one hand, so I'll be back once it's installed. Okay, back already. Wasn't that hard. As you can see, the dots are lined up, and it's time to shoot. Let's bolt this cover back on here. And all right, just set the valve last, or set the valves, whatever. It's a bit of a pain. I end up, the way I got after it is, you see this white paint on each one. I ended up using that once I got it tight. Every time it just was either too tight or too loose. So I marked one of the corner nuts, and then I would either back it off or tighten it and just move that and watch that where that went until I got it right. But anyway, now it's time to put this flywheel on. And oh, I also forgot to mention, I've already torqued down the head bolts to I saw 17 and I saw 18. So I put it at 18. Throw the flywheel on, fill it up with oil, and probably throw this carb on, and I don't know about what else tonight. Alright, had to take a break from last night, but here it is, all back together. Got that flywheel on. What I did not know, I mean, look at all these parts. Well, that carburetor's going back in, but none of these parts are going back on the bike. What I did not know is that I would lose my headlights with that flywheel. Just put it on the bike, bolt up the carburetor, bolt up the exhaust, and button down everything down, hook up the throttle cable, and she'll be ready to rip. So let's see that here in a few. Alright, I don't know if you can hear me, but here it is, all back together. Running good. Yeah, buddy. Look at camming too. Yeah, it's got a big cam in it. Yeah, I'd scream now. There she is. She's a beast now. A little bit scary. Let's start riding with a helmet. It's that scary. I've almost wrecked it twice. So I'm guessing it does around 40 now.